Hello everybody, and we are back. Old Dominion 5-2, ranked 25th in the country, traveling to take on a struggling Duke side. But Duke in their all black uniforms today, playing at home, looking to pull off a bit of an upset and unsettle ODU's hopes of getting a division title. Old Dominion not certainly favorites to win the division now, 2-2 in conference play, but certainly a good run here to the end of the season could see them sneak into the ACC title game. Still, they do need to get past a Duke team that, while they're struggling, are going to prove to be tricky at home. Old Dominion in the all-silver uniforms win the toss and elect to take the ball. An electric returner, Antoine Hopkins, set to take this one just from inside the end zone. There, breaks off a tackle but is met at the 20-yard line. So Joshua Kemp, the sophomore quarterback, 3 touchdowns in the performance last week. Not too shabby for him. Hands it off to Scott Sullivan, who gets the start at running back once again. See what this offense can do against a Duke defense that ranks among the worst in the country. So this is a time where ODU's offense should be just raring to go. Punch this defense in the face. Scott Sullivan, a handoff out of an under center formation. Don't see that too much, but a first down is gained. ODU looking to get things started off on the right foot here. A beautiful evening for football in North Carolina, home of the Duke Blue Devils. 2nd and 5, ODU going to run a little option action here. Pitches it to Sullivan, trying to stretch it. And it'll be another 3rd and 2 coming up for Old Dominion to try and convert. Here the 40-yard line. Shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Kemp going to keep it. Turns it upfield, and a gain of 8 yards for the first down. And a good start. A lot of ground action for ODU here. It's going to set up a little play action here. Tries to find Phil Billings, and Kemp rushed to that throw. He didn't need to. Billings was open. 2nd down. Kemp going to look a little screen out to Sullivan on the left side. Sullivan has some space, makes a man miss. Gets inside the 42 near the 30-yard line. A gain of 23. A well-run screen, and now in play action pass out of a pistol formation for Joshua Kemp. Scrambles, and maybe another rushed throw looking for Nick Carroll. Kemp's just got to work on his accuracy a little bit here, and the offensive line up the middle gets annihilated. Andrew Turner gets credit for the sack, but you're going to see both linemen there simultaneously flying through. 3rd and 17. Kemp going to look over the middle for Rashid Chase. It's a poorly thrown ball. He needs to put some air on that one, because Tony Fitzpatrick was not going to miss. The linebacker gets the interception. And this is just not a good throw. Easy interception for the linebacker. So that drive sputters out a sack and an interception. Really poor end to what seemed to be a promising drive. And here's Perry Robinson, the quarterback for Duke, on an option keeper. He is a native of Virginia, so going up against a lot of former opponents and teammates maybe from his high school days in Virginia. Old Dominion obviously located right there, and a lot of Virginia natives on the roster. 1st and 10 now, looking to threaten in Old Dominion territory. A good play made by Derek Hughes. He comes off the edge and pulls Kelvin Ford right down it. Ford, a small back, but he's a tough runner, and he's a quick little guy. And here, gonna look for him out wide, and Josh Smith, the linebacker, tags him to the ground. It's a gain of 4. That ball had to travel a long way out to the sideline, and Josh Smith just lays the wood. Kelvin Ford's going to feel that one tomorrow. He's still on the field. Credit to him for the toughness there. There's Archer, takes a hit from Darrell Williams, and it will bring up 4th down. A field goal situation for the Duke Blue Devils here to get the first points of the game, but some movement early on the line, so this will push the kick back 5 yards. It shouldn't affect it too much. Still a very makeable field goal here from about 40 yards out. Sneaks in that left up right there, and Duke take the early lead here in the first quarter, 3-0. Kemp looking to recover from a very bad end to the last drive, but it's intercepted, and it's Nathan Cook who's going to take it to the house, and back-to-back interceptions by Joshua Kemp. And there's the stat line, 2 of 6, 27 yards and 2 interceptions. This one, unacceptable error, and the second time that he's looked for Rashid Chase and thrown an interception. Duke have it covered, and a defense that has not been good this year right now showing up, and Kemp making them look good. Can ODU get a little spark here on offense? Hand off to Sullivan. Maybe get a little more conservative. You're worried that Kemp will throw yet another interception. And how long does Kemp stay on the field if he continues to make these mistakes? 2nd and 8, this is just... that completely blew up in ODU's face, so screenplay did not work. 3rd and 12, Kemp out of the shotgun, plenty of time to throw. Rashid Chase, this time he hits him just enough for the first down, and the drive stays alive. Just try and get things going a little bit here. Todd Jackson haven't seen any action from him yet. Kemp rolling out, flips it to Nick Carroll, and a little improvisation. Dangerous play, only gets a yard. Ahead to 3rd down. Kemp, time to throw, fires out to D'Angelo Holcomb, running a wheel route on that right side, and he was open. First catch of the game for him. As we near the end of the first quarter, near midfield for ODU, Kemp once again getting some great blocking, and it's Rashid Chase down the seam for 31. Quickly brushes off his defender there, and that's a really good throw by Joshua Kemp. If he can continue to do that instead of throwing interceptions, ODU will be in good business. Here it's Rashid Chase again, getting a lot of targets, and maybe ODU found something in Duke's defense that they're trying to hit. Here's Scott Sullivan, trucks the defender, and ODU are on the board. A 5-yard touchdown run to end the first quarter. And here, look at this, just trucks the defender. He does not care. Scott Sullivan, a good run there as we start the second quarter. It's a 3-point game. Shotgun with 2 backs, and this play just completely broke. Barry Robinson gets sacked, and it's the corner, Darrell Williams. ODU brought a corner blitz on that play. 3rd and 14, a big chance for the defense to get off the field, and it's Jonathan Dorsey blowing past the offensive lineman and getting in on the sack action here. Robinson almost tried to pull away, but just good wrapping up by Jonathan Dorsey. Gets him by the ankles there, and great field position for Old Dominion to start the next drive. A pistol formation. Kevin Wesley, the fullback, on the field as well. Kemp is sacked. Trying to escape out to that right side. It's Eric Fowler. Watch out for him. The defensive ends for Duke will cause some problems. They're quick. Here's Joshua Kemp. Flips it out to Anquan Hopkins, and he's going to get about 8 yards. Another bit of improvisation from Joshua Kemp, but he's got to be careful. He's making some dangerous plays here today, and it could very well hurt him. Right there, just throwing into triple coverage. Very poor. Kemp has to step up his game if he wants to really be the #1 quarterback here and lead this team to glory. So Duke looking to expand on their lead, try and make it a 2-score game maybe here as they're in ODU territory. Perry Robinson looks out to his right, finds Folks, who makes a move, the tight end, with some shiftiness, making a defender miss on the tackle. 2nd and 4. Perry Robinson handing off to Kelvin Ford, trying to run through a tackle, and he's brought down short of the first down marker. 3rd and 1. Can ODU get a big stop here? Robinson on a play action finds Eric Harris, one of their tough receivers. Something that Duke does have, some very tough players to catch the ball, hard to bring down. Secondary tackling for ODU has certainly been a problem as of late. Robinson brought down. Steven Gant did really well in this option play. He's hanging out. I think he was spying on this one. So he was watching the quarterback the whole way, and a good tackle. 3rd and 8. ODU hoping to hold to a field goal here. Maybe get a turnover and get off the field without giving up any points. Robinson flushed in the pocket, and it is a turnover. Xavier Wallace with an excellent interception at the sideline. And look at, he's going to get 2 feet in bounds. Good at the next level there. Xavier Wallace with a great play. Perry Robinson's first big mistake of the game. We were just saying, can ODU get off the field without giving up any points? They did just that. And we're approaching halftime inside of 2 minutes. Kemp finds Phil Billings in the flat. He gets a good chunk of yards, and the tight end gets his first action of the day. 2nd and 2, pistol formation. Antoine Hopkins on the field, gets a hole to run through, gain of 10. Nice little punch of backs that ODU does have. They don't have David Dixon anymore, of course, but they certainly have Sullivan, Hopkins. They've got DeMarcus Bellamy, a very good running back who's up and coming, a redshirt freshman. And Todd Jackson gets his second action, I should say. We missed the earlier catch there, but he makes a good play there to keep this going. ODU around midfield, finds Rashid Chase again. He's coming across the middle, and he's been lining up in the slot in this game. Not a particularly fast receiver, but he's really good with his routes, really good with his hands. And another big play by the tight end, Phil Billings. He's making a little good impression of himself here at ODU. 3rd and 4. Kemp fires in a little screen to Todd Jackson. He's going to just get enough for the first down, and Jackson's starting to make an impression on this game as well. This offense starting to find its footing. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Kemp going to roll out. Was he looking downfield? He's got Nick Carroll, who gets out of bounds, stops the clock, even though ODU do have all 3 timeouts. But look at Nick Carroll coming all the way across the field. From left to right. Makes a good catch here. And sets up 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. ODU have 3 timeouts, so they can certainly afford to try and punch this one in on the ground. Sullivan gets the handoff, lowers his head. Easy touchdown run up the middle. Scott Sullivan, 2 touchdowns on the day for him. And Old Dominion get the lead, 14-10 at halftime. So it hasn't been easy. Old Dominion a couple of turnovers, including a pick 6. But defensively, you know, the Monarchs have done their job not allowing Duke to really do too much on offense. I mean, they've only scored 3 points from their offense. The touchdown came from their defense. And it's very interesting that that happened, because we were talking about the Duke defense being particularly poor. Nice play. That interception by Xavier Wallace, very good play. I think he's somewhat of an underrated defensive back. And we're continuing to try to build up the defensive backfield and really kind of have a lockdown defense, especially in the passing game. I know we've definitely struggled to stop teams like Georgia Tech that run the ball a lot. And speaking of running the ball, ODU only 28 rushing yards in that first half. Certainly a signal of the post-David Dixon era that we're not racking up the rushing yards as much. But also certainly taking advantage of some weaknesses in the Duke secondary. Here's Calvin Ford. He's pushed down. Dorsey gets credit with the tackle here, but somebody here makes a really good play. It looks like it's Darrell Williams off the corner who just blasts into the offensive lineman and pushes him into Calvin Ford. 2nd and 12. Perry Robinson, time to throw out to the left side to Andrew McCollum, makes a man miss, and that was Xavier Wallace, who I just spoke very highly of, makes a very poor attempt at a tackle. So, Duke driving. Can they get something out of this drive? Finds Folks, and once again finding themselves in ODU territory, but they've turned it over once. They've been held to a field goal. So the red zone offense, a little bit shaky. Calvin Ford, 4-yard gain before he's brought down by a couple of ODU defenders. Now 2nd and 6. Perry Robinson looking to throw, hit, and sandwiched by Jonathan Dorsey and Derek Hughes. And that's not somebody you want to, 2 guys you don't want to be sandwiched by. Two big-time defensive ends. 3rd and 6. Robinson looks out to his right side and just launches this one out into the running track there. So it's now a 1-point game after a Duke field goal. Old Dominion would like to expand on this lead themselves and try and separate. Prove that they deserve to be a ranked team. They're just inside the rankings at number 25, but a poor performance against Duke could certainly dissuade voters from pushing them up higher. Here's Kemp going to dump it off. No, Scott Sullivan. And I don't know if Kemp even saw the defender. He was looking at Sullivan, and it's just straight at the defender and gifting Duke field position at the 25-yard line. Perry Robinson on an option, and look at this, Stephen Gant Good recognition on the option there. 2nd and 12. Keep making plays. The defense has done a pretty good job. Nearly picked off. Darrell Williams has been immense today. Blitzing, making coverage plays. 3rd and 12. They're going to go a little screen to Ford, and it's not going to be enough. And once again, the Monarch defense holds. See if this field goal goes up. Just inside the right upright this time, and Duke 3 field goals. But will that come back to haunt them with their red zone offense not quite firing in the way that it should, and Old Dominion getting some stops? That said, Duke do lead 16-14 here over halfway through the 3rd quarter. Antoine Hopkins weaving his way out to the right side, and he's a dangerous return man, gets ODU into Duke territory. Pretty even statistics here. Duke really should be up by more with as much as ODU have turned the ball over and struggled to really do anything consistently. There's Scott Sullivan on a counter play, gets 10 yards going up the middle. Clock ticking inside of 3 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Joshua Kemp drops back, finds Sullivan in the flat out to the left side, runs into his own man and falls down for a gain of 3. Oh man, this is just a weird game. Feels like ODU should probably be dominating really, but turnovers are killing them at the moment. 3rd and 3, an important 3rd down here. Kemp on an option keeper, tripped up, and he just gets enough for the 1st down. You like his quickness, his toughness. That's what he brings. It's just his consistency as a passer. Nearly throws another interception. Probably lucky that it was a defensive end out there trying to make the interception. 2nd and 10. Kemp, another passing play here. Sullivan accounting for a majority of the yards on this drive. Another catch for him. 3rd and 5. What an important play this is for ODU. They would love to get a touchdown rather than a field goal. Kemp looking across the field, and that is absolutely the wrong decision. 3rd down, you're in field goal range. Throw a cross-field dangerous pass that's asking to be intercepted 4 times now. ODU have been intercepted. And how long does Kemp stay on the field? Look at Eric Harris, a very good receiver for Duke. He's already got 5 catches on the day. And Duke up by 2 would love to make this a 2-score game if they can get in the end zone. Josh Smith with a good hit on Kelvin Ford. He's been out for him today, out for blood. Couple of good performers on defense today like Josh Smith and Darrell Williams have done some really good things for ODU. Ford only a couple there. Stood up by Jonathan Dorsey. 3rd and 8. Play action pass. Robinson finds Andrew McCollum. He gets the 1st down. Defense cannot get off the field here. And once again, driving deep into ODU territory is Duke. This is a great piece of play here. A good tackle by Timmy Jordan, who's significantly smaller than much of the receiving core for Duke. We've got a lot of big guys on that team. There's McCollum sneaking out behind the defense. It's Jeff Robinson cutting him down, but it's 1st and goal. And Duke would love for their offense to get a touchdown here. Perry Robinson walks into the end zone. A good piece of option play. He read it well. The defense committed to the running back. And it's now a 9-point game. Well, Kemp, 19 to 29, 199 yards, not bad, but the 4 interceptions are killing him. He still takes the field. Adam Norton, the backup quarterback, stays on the bench. Obviously, the Monarchs believe Kemp can lead this team down the field still. Only a yard for Sullivan. 3rd and 1. ODU really need to score on this drive. Field goal or whatever. Sullivan has stood up. Inches short of the marker. Duke do their job, and ODU, with 5 minutes to go here in this game, are going to go for it. It's DeMarcus Bellamy. They go jumbo formation. They go jumbo running back, and they get it. So they live to breathe another day on offense. Looking deep for Todd Jackson. Todd Jackson's got it, and he's cut down. Surely a touchdown-saving tackle. But look at how easily he breezes past his defender. I don't know why you press Todd Jackson, because this is what he does best, the deep ball. And a major touchdown-saving tackle there. Antoine Hopkins, a quick play, but Todd Jackson takes the top off the defense. We've been waiting for that to happen today. Rashid Chase yet again making an impact. Gets to the 5-yard line. It's 1st and goal. Old Dominion driving down the field in quick fashion after converting that 4th down. Scott Sullivan just short of the end zone. They go no huddle here. Kemp on a play action and it gets blown up. Duke was ready for that one. Eric Fowler with 2 sacks on the day. They've struggled to block him on that edge. 3rd and goal at the 5. Kemp on a little option keeper here. Gonna get stopped. He's stopped about the 2.5-yard line. Old Dominion decide we're just going to take the points, make it a 1-score ball game, 23-17. All it takes for Duke, though, is to get a field goal to make it 2 scores once again. Here's Jeff Robinson coming up, and there's a flag on the field. Didn't see what it was, and it's going to be a holding call, so that's going to drive Duke back to 1st and 20. And a big help for the ODU defense. Can they come up with a stop? There's not a lot of time. They do have 3 timeouts. But Duke trying to eat as much clock as they can. Put some pressure on the Monarchs. When are you going to use those timeouts? Will ODU even see the ball back again? Andrew McCullum, 6 yards. So maybe give him that on 1st down and 20 here. But an important play coming up. Try and prevent any kind of manageable situation. It's incomplete. So the clock stops with 2:11 and a 3rd down upcoming. So Duke don't even force ODU to use a timeout there. Kelvin Ford underneath, and ODU come up with a big stop on defense. They will take the timeout to stop at 2:05. Plenty of time to go down and take the lead in this game. Here's Antoine Hopkins. Can he produce some magic? Hit initially and swarmed. And now we see Joshua Kemp in the ODU offense. 1:57 to go. Well, 2 timeouts. Their own 35-yard line. Scott Sullivan going to get the handoff, a little counter play. It's worked a couple times already. Nice chunk of 9 yards. Sullivan to the right of Kemp. 4 wide receivers here. Matt immediately right up the middle, and Tony Fitzpatrick's had a good day out of that middle linebacker spot for Duke. He's been important for them. 3rd and 2. 1:15 to go. Kemp going to scramble. He's going to get just enough, but he pays for it. Another big hit. 1 minute to go. Kemp looks out to the right side. Nick Carroll pushed out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. A nice play. You know, if you can't get a lot of yards, get out of bounds. 2nd and 4. Kemp, 3 wide receivers to his left. Dumps it off to D'Angelo Holcomb. Cuts upfield, and the defenders thought he was going out of bounds, and he gets some extra yards, catching them off guard. Clock continuing to run now. 40 seconds to go. Kemp looks out to the right side. Rashid Chase inside the 10. The defender tried to jump it, and instead Chase over 100 yards receiving on the day. Clock ticking, 1st and goal, but you can afford to run it with a couple timeouts. He'll take one here. Coach trying to get his guys stay focused. Get this task done. Let's get a touchdown. Joshua Kemp rolls out to the right side. He's not going to throw it this time. He dives. Touchdown, Old Dominion. And all his struggles throughout this game, throwing interceptions, that was a very good drive he led on that one. And ODU, a Tommy Patrick extra point away here from taking the lead with just 23 seconds to go. It's right down the middle as you would expect. And that was a very, very good final drive for ODU, if that indeed is the last action that the offense makes. Patrick sends us one deep. I don't think they're going to take it out. So 23 seconds, 3 timeouts. Duke certainly, they only need a field goal to win this one. They do have to go a good chunk of the field here. And a great play. John Mills jumps that route, swats it down. Not going to take any chances. 19 seconds left. Perry Robinson. Probably going to be given a lot of time to throw. ODU are going to drop guys back. They'll give him the 9 yards there and a Duke timeout. Duke setting up now around the 34-yard line. Ryan Chapman giving pressure to Perry Robinson, who finds Archer. I cannot believe he just made that throw. Under pressure, Ryan Chapman was in his face. He just whips this ball out, and a great catch on the sideline that stops the clock as well. Andrew Archer. And they're one play like that away from getting in field goal range. He's sacked! It's Mike Robertson coming off the edge. The backup defensive end does a great job at sacking the quarterback. 6 seconds, and presumably they really only have time to throw this one deep. Derek Hughes coming in and another sack. They will use their last timeout, so they'll have one more shot, but it's a long way to go. Robinson only going to get rushed by 3 here from ODU, and it's going to be broken up, and Old Dominion survive. Aaron Davis fired up in coverage there. Whoo! Old Dominion stave off a very impressive upset attempt by Duke. They tried their best. Credit to them. Certainly, I think it was the ODU defense that came up big today with some important stops and holding Duke to some field goals, getting that interception at one point. Because certainly 4 times that Joshua Kemp threw an interception, that's 4 free possessions for Duke's offense. I guess I should say 3 because there was the pick 6, so 3 free possessions for the offense and then 7 free points. So I think that just speaks to the fact that Duke just aren't very good. Kemp 25 of 36, 309. That's not a bad line, but the 4 interceptions, 4 sacks, and no touchdowns through the air, certainly not what you want to see from your starting quarterback. So we'll raise questions as to who will maybe be the starting quarterback going forward. I think Kemp will remain the guy, but there's always the possibility, things could change. Rashid Chase, the sophomore receiver, 7 catches, 122 yards. Sorry. What a game. He was targeted. He's constantly targeted in this game. There's Josh Smith, far and away the leading tackler, had a good game. Him and Darrell Williams really stood out as the good players in the game today. Stephen Gann, a couple of TFLs, 4 sacks for the defense overall. Pretty good. A lot of sophomores making plays today, so it's good to see some of the younger guys getting in on the action. And Xavier Wallace notching an interception, good to see. Tommy Patrick right now handling kicking duties. We'll see if we get the freshman William Tuttons in there to take some more kicks. He's had some struggles though. Perry Robinson, 25, 34, 270, interception and sacked 4 times. Didn't run the ball a whole lot. Probably could have gotten the ball to Ford more. I think he's a pretty decent back. They probably should have used him more than they did. But, you see what they're trying to do, see what their offense was looking at, and I think we did a good job at stopping them. I was most impressed with Tony Fitzpatrick on their defense. He looks like a good linebacker. As well as Andrew Turner really struggled to block him. He was coming through the middle constantly. And, you have 4 different players getting interceptions for them. We got to cut that down. Kemp has been an interception machine, basically. It's been an issue for a long time, going back to Josh Silva, throwing lots of interceptions, trying to erase that problem. Look at the offensive totals. ODU almost 400 yards. But look at the red zone, 100%, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Duke, 1 touchdown and 2 field goals, kind of a difference maker there. Once again, ODU negative in turnover margin, but managed to still improve to 6-2 and now ranked 23rd in the country as they'll take on the 20th ranked Louisville Cardinals next week. It's going to be a good matchup. ODU will be playing their final home game of the season, as the last 3 games will be on the road. Here, Louisville coming off an upset loss against Syracuse. They've also lost to a struggling Texas team while managing to beat ranked teams like Clemson and Florida State. So hard to figure this team out, but they're led by Kevin Tyson, a dynamic quarterback, tough to stop. Will ODU have an answer for Kevin Tyson? He's going to cause problems. We'll find out next time. Can the Monarchs continue climb their way in the rankings, or will Louisville put a stop to that? I'll see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.